the start of the movie, Grisha, the son of an oligarch Pavel, comes out of a club with an eccentric woman. He notices his car being towed away by a truck. Furious, he follows the truck and verbally curses the driver to stop. Just then, he gets hit by something in the back, due to which he passes out right then and there. After regaining consciousness, Grisha mysteriously finds himself in a stable in an abandoned village. The stable is located on a landowner's estate in the Russian Empire. Seemingly, it is the summer of 1860, 6 months before the abolition of serfdom, the status of many peasants under feudalism. A man named Artyom, who is dressed in ragged clothes, hurries him to get the horses ready for the landowner, or the lord. Grisha, dressed in similar shabby clothing, is understandably shocked by the sight of his new surroundings. He tries to make sense of the situation, but is soon interrupted by another man named Avdi, who turns out to be the right-hand man of the lord. Avdi drags Grisha outside the stable and swears at him for not following the lord's orders. Moments after, the lord appears at the scene and asks him why his horses aren't ready yet. Initially, the arrogant Grisha thinks that this is a trick and boasts his father's name to threaten the lord and his men. However, the surrounding reality and the people in it seem too real and convincing, and now he is a serf, a horse groom. Serfs are the lowest of class in a feudalistic society, and the landlords make them slaves in exchange for food and shelter. Grisha realizes that he has really traveled back in time. Much worse, he is afraid of horses and therefore unable to perform his duties. The arrogant brat then tries to run away, but is sadly caught by the landlord's men. He is then tied with metal chains and dragged to the village square to be punished. On the way, Grisha repeatedly demands to see his lawyer, but the village people are certainly unaware of the modern law. When they arrive at the square, Grisha sees another man hanging in front of him. This is when he realizes that he too is going to be hanged for not obeying the orders. Reality finally daunts him and he soon surrenders to his fate. Just before he is given the death penalty, Grisha remembers his past life. In a flashback, we learn that Grisha is the son of oligarch Pavel and lives a privileged life. As a spoiled prick, he frequents nightclubs, engages in casual relationships with women, and indulges in his desires without facing any consequences. During a night at the club, Grisha playfully flirts with a gorgeous woman named Anfisa, but she teases him for his cliched approach. In response to the challenge, Grisha goes to the upscale drinks section, pours a drink, and shatters the remaining glasses with champagne. He then presents the drink to the pretty woman, asserting that no one else in the room has the same drink as hers. Intrigued, the woman then engages in a romantic conversation with him. Later, Grisha and Anfisa hop into his fancy car, where he demands oral sex from her. Anfisa is disgusted, so she refuses to follow his orders. The egotistic brat kicks her out of his vehicle and decides to head home. As usual, Grish crosses the speed limit and is followed by police vans. Since he is used to getting out of these kinds of situations, he shows no respect for the law and police enforcement. However, he is forced to stop his car at one point because the newly transferred officer, who has been chasing him for a while now, seems determined to catch this spoiled brat. Grisha plays his usual card as he tries to bribe the officer. However, the honest officer isn't willing to accept the brat's corrupted money. Despite this, Grisha refuses to obey and continues his way home. The officer is also unwilling to back down, so he climbs on top of Grisha's car, urging him to get out of the vehicle immediately. They eventually end up in a very bad accident, due to which the police officer is severely injured. Grisha is taken into custody, forcing his father Pavel to come for aid. The police chief at the station, who turns out to be Pavel's friend, reminds him of his son's unlawful actions. He also asserts that this will be the last time he will be helping Pavel get his son out of trouble. The chief further reveals that Grisha has broken many rules this month, and he is certainly getting out of control. Pavel then realizes that Grisha's recklessness is only escalating. He has to find a way to treat his son's irresponsible behavior. After getting him out of custody, Pavel threatens Grisha to cut his monthly allowances and also block his credit cards. However, the reckless prick fires back, rudely asking his dad to rather focus on his business. Concerned for his son's future, Pavel seeks a way to make him a better person. He meets Anastasia, or just Anna, a TV producer and friend with benefits, and she suggests consulting Lev Arnoldovich. Lev is a psychologist known for employing effective though unconventional methods for treating his patients. Left with no choice, Pavel decides to go with the plan to meet Lev. When he and Anna arrive at Lev's dark and creepy apartment, they find him hanging by a rope. The pair is understandably scared and worried. However, it all turns out to be a part of Lev's experiment. He reveals that he is working on a film project that requires him to create realistic scenarios. He also works with individual clients to help them deal with their problems by employing such genuine, but fake scenes that cater to the client's needs. The scene then cuts to the night when Grisha had chased after his towed car. Just then, a mysterious person attacks him from the back, causing him to fall into a deep slumber. We are then taken to the present, where Grisha is begging for forgiveness while the men around him prepare to punish him. Fortunately for him, the daughter of the landowner, Aglaia, intervenes in the situation. She pleads to her father and her brother Alexei to halt the execution for a day because it is the occasion of her name day today. Since her father loves her too much, he agrees to pardon Grisha for his crimes. The prickly brat then accepts his fate as he looks at the vulture in the sky that was ready to eat his meat. Unbeknownst to him, the vulture is a drone operated from a windmill across a distance. Inside it we see a whole team of modern humans working on what seems to be a film set. It is then revealed that the 19th century village is a carefully crafted production funded by Pavel and orchestrated by Anna and psychologist Lev Arnoldovich. All the villagers are actually actors, working under the guidance of Anna and her production team. The project aims to transform Grisha's perspectives on the world and himself, with the team closely monitoring his every action. While the recreation of 1860s Russia isn't flawless, Grisha's lack of knowledge about Russian history prevents him from noticing the anachronisms, ensuring the project's success. Despite initially resisting the idea of being thrust into the past, Grisha gradually accepts his role as a serf in this timeline. He then attempts to navigate the unfamiliar position in his own way. The project script envisions Grisha starting a romance with Aglaia, leading to a serf eloping with a lady. Pavel, Anna, and the psychologist believe that it would bring about significant change in life attitudes. The actor who plays Aglaia in this village follows the script and tries to get Grisha's attention. She manages to entice him when she sits alone and cries by the hayloft. She wordly reveals that her father is forcing her to marry an older, wealthy landowner. However, Grisha doesn't connect with the plight of the young woman being coerced into marrying a rich landowner. He instead says that Aglaia can take all of her husband's wealth once he passes away. Grisha continues to be an arrogant man and does not sympathize with others. In one instance, he steals one of Avdi's chickens and makes a sumptuous dinner for himself. Avdi soon learns about the missing chicken, so he rounds up all the serfs and demands to know the culprit. As anticipated, Grisha doesn't reveal himself, therefore Avdi randomly chooses another serf and punishes him. Meanwhile, the spoiled brat watches the drama unfold, without any remorse on his face. Frustrated by Grisha's lack of progress, Pavel plans to terminate the project. However, there is a twist in events when Grisha notices a beautiful village girl named Lisa. When she gets off the horse, he takes notice of the girl's red Victoria's Secret underwear. Grisha immediately approaches her and inappropriately attempts to make sure of what he saw. Surprisingly, he sees her naked body underneath the skirt while the villagers reprimand his actions. It turns out that Lisa quickly took off her underwear and threw it under the hay to make sure that Grisha doesn't have any suspicions. Later, Grisha apologizes to Lisa after recognizing the severity of his actions. Surprised by this change in his son's attitude, Pavel decides to continue with the project. As time passes by, Grisha develops a genuine connection with Lisa, prompting the psychologist to alter the storyline, making Lisa the object of Grisha's affection. Despite initially disliking Grisha, Lisa agrees to help him change. Along the way, Grisha undergoes a transformation, witnessing his own flaws mirrored in Alexei, who turns out to be Lisa's real-life boyfriend Anton. Aglaia, played by Polina, upset about losing the lead role, manipulates Anton into thinking Lisa plans to have an affair with Grisha. Their conversation takes a heated turn when they end up having an intimate encounter with each other. Much to their embarrassment, their lovemaking session is witnessed by Lisa and Grisha. Since Anton is Lisa's real-life boyfriend, she is visibly miserable. However, Grisha, unaware of the truth, surmises that Aglaia and Alexei are in an incestuous relationship. In the meantime, Lev, the psychologist, is shocked by the unexpected revelation of incest, therefore he removes Aglaia and Alexei from the roles. In retaliation, Polina exposes the project to the mainstream media and eventually to the world, claiming that a man is being tortured. Soon after this revelation, the police launch an investigation, with Polina aiding them. As the police close in on the project, a last-minute plan is devised to transform Grisha's attitude once and for all. A staged invasion of 19th century Russia by the Golden Horde, the Mongols from the northwestern sector of the Mongol Empire. Unaware of the project, Grisha remains oblivious as the actors playing the Golden Horde arrive at the village and abduct Lisa. Grisha initially reverts to his selfish and cowardly behavior, seemingly jeopardizing the entire project by fleeing. However, he has a change of heart when he realizes his true feelings for Lisa. He comes to senses that he has always been running away from trouble. However, this is the time for him to make a different decision, at least once in his life. Grisha then returns to confront the invaders and fight off the Mongol army, ultimately rescuing Liza. The pair then escape on horseback just minutes before the police arrive at the village. Since Grisha has already left the scene, the police mistake the entire village for a historical film set. In the meantime, Grisha and Liza travel a significant distance on horseback before finally reaching a gas station. He is understandably shocked to see a normal, modern word outside the 19th century village. Suddenly, a member of Anna's team uses a tranquilizer to incapacitate Grisha, causing him to lose consciousness. When he wakes up, he's informed that he experienced a 3-month coma and that the serfs past and village were all part of an illusion. Despite maintaining his character development, Grisha realizes that Liza was never real, plunging him into a deep depression. Eventually, Grisha encounters Polina and Anton, the actors portraying Aglaya and Alexei, in a nightclub. Confused, he approaches them and asks them about their whereabouts. Polina and Anton realize that Grisha is still unaware of the experiment on him. Out of pity, they reveal the truth about the project and confirm Liza's existence. Grisha then locates Liza and they reunite with open arms, while Pavel and Anna, who had feelings for each other for far too long, tie the knot. In the film's final scene, another oligarch's son is thrust into the village, deceived into believing he has traveled back to feudal Russia. Grisha, now part of the project team, observes the unfolding drama.